Andrew.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Yep, you too.
So, I've heard that you are trying to convince a young Indus Valley immigrant to move here instead of Yellow River or even Mesopotamia.
Yes, well, I just decided that, the more people we have here, the more the merrier. So, I was just going to give them the basic facts on why you should move to Egypt. And, first off, we have the Nile River. It's the longest river in the world. It's used for trade. The soil around it is fantastic for crops. It's amazing. You can't get better than that.
And I've heard that we use all sorts of routes for trading, not just the Nile, but we can use boats, caravans, even donkeys.
Yeah, even donkeys. We have fantastic trading all throughout ancient Egypt.
Well, who led the Egyptians?
Well, one of the first pharaohs, or the pharaohs, of course, just like
yeah,
you.
but who led them back then? Even I don't know that.
Well, one of the very first pharaohs was Hatshepsut. And she was the very first woman pharaoh ever. So that was quite fantastic for ancient Egypt. Now, Hatshepsut also started the first of the 31 dynasties. And a dynasty is just it's sort of a couple of pharaohs, and then that's one dynasty. Then a couple more pharaohs, that's the second dynasty. She started off the very first dynasty out of 31 dynasties.
But the dynasties, the family member, the pharaohs have to be family members in order for it to be a dynasty, correct?
Of course, yes. And then we made, not to mention the Nile, trade, all the stuff that you need, but we made some pretty cool inventions. We invented pyramids. Well, that's arguable, but I think we invented pyramids. But the pyramids were also used as tombs. We mastered certain forms of surgery. And we also mastered our mummification, which is just preserving the body after they're dead.
So we get good at surgery because we mummify people, and vice versa. We get good at mummifying because we do surgery well.
That's right. And also, the Yellow River Valley, sorry about that, is a little more advanced than us in astronomy and science, but we're pretty far up there with those two subjects.
So when I die, can I get mummified?
Well, if you can afford it, of course you can. We take the organs out of you, pull the brain out through your nose, and then tie you up with bonding, and it'll be pretty cool.
So why does that help me?
Well, we believe that when you die, you go into afterlife, and you're going to need things in afterlife, just like current life. You're going to need food, you're going to need possibly weapons, you're going to need clothing. So we wrap you up, we take out all of the important organs, keep them in a jar close to you, so you always have them near you.
And we trash the unimportant ones?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Alright. So, is there anything else that they should know about?
Well, we can also trade the Nubia, which is the lowest part of ancient Egypt. As I said before, we use the Nile to trade with boats, and we just go right down the Nile to Nubia. And then we can also go on a caravan, donkey, we trade gold. We trade precious metals, really. We trade gold, we trade silver, we trade copper, and fine pottery to the Nubians and from the Nubians.
I'm pretty glad to hear all this.
Yeah, it can't be too bad to just hear someone gloat about your industrialization.
Well, how could you go wrong with that?
Exactly. So, now, I will be talking with the nobleman, and after that, I think you can have a discussion with him.
Alright.
Come on, Akar. And I'm going to try to convince him to move to the industrial civilization.
Hello.
Hi. So I understand that you don't like it over there in the industrial civilization?
Nope.
Why not?
Because their writing and their technology is kind of not finishing, and I was wondering how Egypt was in those subjects.
Well, Egypt's writing is easy and simple. We use a picture-like symbolization for our writing. For example, if you're writing a bird, if you want to write a bird, then you would draw a picture of a bird. Now, that's called hieroglyphics. And we would write those well, way back when, we would write those on clay and stone, but that got to a major hassle. So we invented papyrus, which is just an amazing thing that you can write on, and you can make hieroglyphics or anything you want on that.
That seems pretty simple.
Yeah, it is. Now, we also have social classes. So, the very highest social class would be the pharaoh,
Yes.
which you will meet later on today.
Okay.
And then the middle class would be the tax collectors, such as myself, the marketplace people, and the skilled workers. And those classes would be the servants and the farmers.
Yes.
Now, back to our history, we have had 3 kingdoms. The early kingdom, the old kingdom, the middle kingdom, and the new kingdom. All kingdoms had monarchies and dynasties that eventually crumbled. But when the dynasties crumbled, they started war, which ended the kingdom. At the end of the war, they started a new kingdom. Each kingdom tried something different to make the city better, which ended up making it fail. Now, I think that would make it sound like a pretty great place to live.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And thank you for all your information.
Yep. So, I hope the Pharaoh can convince you fully to move to Egypt's civilization.
I hope too. Thank you.
Yep.
And we're back with the car. Here we're going to talk about the religion of ancient Egypt. So our religion includes many gods and goddesses of different things. We have Ra, the sun god, who controls when the sun goes up and down, and Anubis, the god of embalming the dead, who controls mummies, whether they go to the afterlife or the underworld. I mean, is that cool or what?
Yeah, that sounds cool, but where would the gods live?
That's the amazing part. We build the pyramids and put tombs inside the pyramids, and when we bury the mummies, we put gold, food, and other necessities needed for the afterlife inside of the tomb. So, our region, I mean, Egypt might not be the easiest place to get to, because, of the deserts around us and the Nile, but we are northeast, we are in northeast Africa, and west of Mesopotamia, but it's definitely worth the trip.
Well, that sounds doable to get to, but if I do move there, then what would be my choices for a job?
Well, there's a lot of choices. If you're a very blessed individual, then you could be a pharaoh, like me. Or if you're very respected, you could be a priest. Both of these jobs are in the upper level of the social structure. If you're not classy enough for the first class, then you can always go to the second class of a social structure, which includes jobs of carpenters, merchants, or skilled workers. If you're really unfortunate, then you might have to be a peasant or a servant in the third class.
So, I know you use the Nile River, but how else do you interact with your environment?
Well, we interact with our environment in 3 different ways. We depend on the Nile River for water and trade and movement. We modify our environment by building cities and pyramids, and of course streets. And finally, we adapt to our environment because there is common flooding from the Nile and the harsh summers of the desert. But that's a quick get over, so it's nothing that you have to worry about.
Well, I think I should move there. Thank you for telling me all these reasons.
Well, I hope you do. Have a nice day.
You too.